Emotional heart-to-hearts with a good girlfriend can be exactly what the doctor ordered, but so can just some light chit-chat. So, you know, those conversations that are just talky and fun and interesting, where the topics range from really anything and everything. Well, that's the inspiration behind our newest series, the Studio 5 Hot Seat. We're asking women you admire to share their take on the kind of topics that are buzzy, current, and trendy. And the first woman to take the hot seat is definitely in the know. She's a voice for good in our community. She's a mom of 6. She's got some great girlfriend vibes. Welcome, Kristin Andrus. Hello. Thanks for being the first.
I didn't realize I missed it.
You're the first.
Love it. I'm so excited.
Okay. Are you ready for the hot seat?
Hot seat. Bring it. I want it hot.
I mean, it's not that bad, really. But we're just going to talk about some fun things.
Yeah.
And one of them is something we spotted in the New York Times called the medium friend. The medium friend. Let me tell you what it is. It's a new term. So the New York Times describes it as genuine friends. You may share history, circumstances, interests, but unlike closest friends, medium friends test the limits of your time, love, and energy because there's just so many dinners in a week. You can have so many people you can text with all the time. So how do we navigate these in between? They're not just acquaintances, but they're not like our ride or dies. They're these in betweens. Do you ever feel that pull?
You know, I think for one, female friendship is so important. I think as women, sometimes friendship can actually take a back seat. And when I have kind of polled my friends or online, I find that actually women are looking for more friends. They think that other women aren't looking for more friends, that they don't need more, that their circle is complete, but they are looking for more. And so I love the idea that we are all looking for more friends, and also that not everyone is for us. So we're gonna find some friendships that are going and strong and amazing, some that kind of take that medium level. But I believe that we need each level of that. Not everyone can be our ride or die. Not everyone can be who we're texting all day long or going to dinner with. And by the way, that's happening, you know, less and less as families get busy and kids get busy. But I look at maybe sports team moms. I look at maybe other moms at church or other friends like in different periphery. I think it's hard to sometimes figure that out, but I think being kind, being open, and not knowing where it may lead. Some of those medium friends may become good friends. And so if you feel that, I feel like sometimes there's that spark with friendship, kind of lean towards that, go towards that. And if you're not feeling it or not getting it reciprocated, you can kind of, you know, hold back a little bit.
I know we talk a lot about say no, because we're always so busy. But I just think what courage it takes for someone who maybe doesn't know you that well to reach out and be like, would you want to go to lunch? And I'm saying say yes.
I agree.
Just like you were saying, because you never know if that could turn into some amazing friendship, and who doesn't need more friends?
Absolutely. I've had a couple of women I've been working with lately and talking to, and I actually looked in my text and I said, how did this start? And I literally texted them and said, hey, my name's Kristin Andrus. We have friends in common. I would love to get to know you and take you to lunch.
Yes.
And we've become good friends.
Okay, we're on the same page on that one then. Okay, let's talk about this recent poll you did on your Instagram page, because I'm a tech girl. I write about tech, so I know phones, social media, and we talk a lot about how we curb that for our kids. But your poll said 87% of grown-ups like us think that social media and cell phones are harmful to them as grown-ups, right?
Yes.
So women often talk about how do we do this for our kids, but when we're talking about adults, you and I just kind of mentioned this, it is also a problem. And how do we handle that? Is that something you'll bring up to a friend? Like, could you be off your phone when we're together? Or
no.
Okay. But are you trying to curb your own use a little bit?
Yes. Are you?
Yes, I make a conscious effort if I'm with someone to try not to look at my phone while we're together.
You know, I was just sitting at a table with 2 senators at breakfast this morning before I got here. And it was hard for me, and I'm listening to this fascinating conversation, incredible people at my table, and it was hard for me not to kind of say, are my kids getting to camp? Is everything going okay? Make sure you do this. So I think sometimes out of necessity, but I think also this pull of it is an addictive behavior. It's where our calendar is. It's where, you know, our alerts are coming from of what's going on today. What do my kids need? I had another kid that said, I'm not feeling good at school today. So part of it is necessity, but part of it is that we just feel this compulsion to keep going back to our phone for whatever it is. And then I think we get stuck on there. We are looking out for our kids. We're looking at, you know, we're talking a lot about cell phones in schools. But what was fascinating with this particular survey was that when you do things online, you know, you get 10, 20, 30% of people that respond. Over 50% of the people that viewed the survey engaged. They engaged on how this looks for their kids, on how it looks for them, and really said, this is a problem for me. And so I think some of the things that we're talking to our kids about, we actually have to model ourselves. Research shows that our kids are going to be on their phones as much as we are. So we show them how it looks to be on our phones, not be on our phones, putting our phones away. I have a really difficult time. So I'm trying to put up parameters. I'm trying to put up boundaries to when do I just put it away? Do I go off social media a couple times a year for a couple of weeks? Those kind of things help. But I have to tell you, it is a constant struggle for me every day. And it sounds like for other women and families as well. But I'm so grateful that this discussion is finally taking place. I feel like there's so much energy around it. I feel like it's coming to a head. And so we're all saying there's got to be a disruption, because the way that this is going for all of us, right, for adults and kids alike, we have to be honest. We have to say, there's a problem, we want to do better, and then this like collective action of coming together and say, let's do better.
But I think sometimes, like you said, necessity, you need to know if your kid's sick at school.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key, is when do we look at our phones, because we have to check to see if it's a kid, right?
Yeah.
So you've given me a segment idea, because I think I'm going to talk about how we get rid of those notifications so that we're only getting what truly needs to come through.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kristin. Okay, up next, the Olympics came and gone. I was obsessed. Peacock app, I was all over it the whole time.
So I was there.
What did you see?
I went to the opening ceremonies. I was with the Salt Lake Olympic delegation. And so we went to the opening ceremonies. We were there when Salt Lake got the bid for 2034, went to swimming and tennis and handball and skateboarding a lot.
Okay, we have to talk then about what was your takeaway.
It was so unifying. It was so wonderful seeing the world coming together. Since we were just talking about social media, I felt this camaraderie that we don't generally feel. And I was really sad to see the world cheering each other on, countries cheering each other on. My kids, I mean, it was unifying in my family, right? When we got home from Paris, we sat and watched the Olympics at night instead of their silly shows. And so it just created these bonds across the world, across our home. That was just absolutely amazing.
And that was one thing that was sad to me when sometimes, well, no, the whole thing buoyed me, made me have faith in humanity. But there were these little pockets of moments, like this Australian breakdancer, right? Who people were just slamming her for not being the best breakdancer. She didn't get a great score.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts about that, and how can we, not only as kids, but these were adults making these horrible comments about her.
Yeah.
We can't punish people for trying.
All of us are trying.
Yeah.
All of us start out trying. And I think I try to model that for my kids. I try to model that online, is like, I try to show up brave and bold. And I am making it up every step of the way. And we're just trying. We're just putting ourselves out there. We're throwing things out to the world. We don't know what's going to work or not. So I give her an A+ for showing up and trying. I watched it. It was surprising to me. But I also think we don't need to find humor always. There's plenty of really funny things online, but at someone else's expense, or when they're not wanting it to be humorous. So that's where I felt a little disconnect. If she was doing it to show up and be funny, but she wasn't. It was serious, and it was trying. And what is that lesson to our kids? But then you overcome.
Don't try.
Yeah,
you have to try. Kristin, you were a great first guest in our hot seat.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. People can reach out to you, even though we're limiting our social. They can still find you.
Yeah, Kristin Andrus on Instagram.
All right, thanks, Kristin.